Last class we began talking about polynomials and what polynomials were, and we were also talking about degrees of polynomial and how you put something in standard form, which is what your warm-up was. We then started talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. So I want to review adding and subtracting polynomials. Okay, so let's look at an example here real quick. Let's see, 5x squared minus 6x plus 3 plus 4x squared minus 8x plus 2. Okay, I know I am adding these two polynomials together because there's a plus sign in the middle. Alright, because there's a plus sign, that makes both of these trinomials positive. This is 3 terms, which makes a trinomial, and this is 3 terms, which makes a trinomial. I know that they're positive because I'm adding them, so parentheses are not needed when you add. So I can go ahead and write this down again exactly as I see it. Okay, parentheses are not needed when adding. Alright, so what was the helpful trick that I would teach you in the beginning of the year to do this when we wanted to clean it up? We draw our slashes. So I'm going to draw a slash sign before every plus sign and every minus sign. Okay, so now I'm going to look. 5x squared. I can't add with negative 6x because this doesn't have an exponent. I can't add with 3 because it doesn't have a variable. Ooh, I can add it with 4x squared. So 5x squared and 4x squared make 9x squared. Now, why is this not 9x to the 4th? The only time you add exponents is when you're multiplying. And look up here, this tells you you're adding. So I'm not adding exponents. Exponents stay the same. So cross out, cross out. Now look at negative 6x. What can I add with negative 6x? Ooh, negative 8x. And you get negative 14x. Cross it out, cross it out. Again, I didn't say x and x made x squared because I'm not multiplying, I'm adding. So now I'm left with 3 and 2. 3 and 2 make 5. I know I'm done because I can't add x squared with x, and I can't add x squared or x with 5, so I'm done. Okay. Let's look at another one. 5y to the 3rd power minus 2y squared plus 3y minus 1 minus 4y cubed minus 6y squared plus 3y minus 6. Okay. Notice here, I'm now subtracting. I have 4 terms. I have a polynomial subtracted by a polynomial. So when you subtract, there's actually an invisible number hiding right here, and that number is 1. So I'm going to put an invisible 1 right here. So when you have negative 1, you have to remember to distribute it. So negative 1 times 4y is negative 4y cubed. Negative 1 times negative 6y squared is positive 6y squared. Negative 1 times 3y is negative 3y. Negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6. This first polynomial I didn't add anything to, so I'm going to go ahead and just write him down. Alright, so now what am I going to do to clean it up? Draw my slashes. Alright, so now look, I always look for the biggest degree because if your answer is not in standard form, you do lose points. So look at 5y cubed. Can I add that with negative 2y squared? No. This has an exponent of 2, this has an exponent of 3, they're not the same. So I got to keep looking. Ooh, negative 4y cubed. So 5y cubed and negative 4y cubed make 1y cubed. Do I really need this 1 here? No, so I can go ahead and erase it. Okay. Cross it out. Negative 2y squared, I can't add with y because they don't have an exponent. Keep going. Negative 3y. Nope, that doesn't work. How about 6y squared? That'll work. Negative 2y squared and 6y squared makes plus 4y squared. Why is that not 4y to the 4th power? Because you did not multiply, you're adding. Alright, how about 3y and negative 3y? Well, 3y and negative 3y, that makes 0y. Do I need to include 0 in my list? No, it's gone. Now I'm left with negative 1 and 6, which makes positive 5. I know I'm done because I can't add y cubed and y squared together, and this one doesn't have a y, so there's nothing left I can do. I also know my answer is in standard form, so I'm good to go. So I'm not going to give you 2 problems I want you to practice. And let me put these up on the board. We have negative 2m cubed plus 2m squared minus 6 plus 2... Oops, let's not do that. Let's do 5m cubed. 5m cubed minus 6m squared plus 2m. And the second problem, let's do 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 4x squared minus 3x minus 6. Okay? I want you to go ahead and pause this video so you can try these 2 problems on your own. When you finish, unpause, and I'll put the answers up on the board for you to be able to compare. So the answer to this one would be 3m cubed minus 4m squared plus 2m minus 6. On this problem, my answer would be negative x squared plus x plus 7. Again, my exponents did not get added because I am not multiplying. Let's write that down in our notes. Exponents are not added together because I am not multiplying. And put a cloud around it. Okay. So adding and subtracting polynomials, pretty easy. All you do is combine like terms. When you subtract, you have to distribute this negative first before you can combine like terms. So now what's going to happen when we go into multiplying polynomials? So let's now check that out. Multiplying polynomials. Now notice I'm multiplying, so what do you think I'm going to do with the exponents? I'm going to add them. So when we multiply multiply polynomials, we have 2 cases. Here's case number 1. Case number 1 is when I have a monomial times a polynomial. So I have 1 term times how many ever terms? 1 term times 1 term, 1 term times 2 terms, 1 term times 3 terms, 1 term times 7 terms if I want. It doesn't matter, all right? So actually, you've actually seen and done all of this before, but let's review. Notice I'm multiplying these 2 monomials, which are 3x squared times 4x cubed, because there's no operation right here. Whenever there's an invisible operation, it's always assumed to be multiplication. So, how I'm going to do this is just like law of exponents, which is the test you took last class. Multiply your coefficients. 3 and 4 make 12. And then I have x squared and x cubed, which make x to the 5th. So put another one. 2x squared y times negative 3x to the 4th y squared times 6xy. Okay? This is just a monomial times a monomial times a monomial. So what am I going to do first? Multiply my coefficients. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 6 is negative 36. Now look at my exponents. I have x squared, x to the 4th, and x. That makes x to the 7th. Now I have y squared, and y. That makes y to the 4th. Remember, there's an invisible 1 here, here, and here. So you add them all up. I get to add my exponents together in these problems because there's multiplication between my problems. All right, so what happens if I have a monomial times a binomial? 2 times x plus 7. Where have you seen this before? What's this like? This is exactly like distributing. So I'm going to take 2, distribute it, distribute it. So 2 times x, 2x. 2 times 7, 14. This is a monomial times, because there's an invisible times there, a binomial. All I'm doing is distributing. You have done all of this before. Okay? Here's where it gets a little different. 2x times 3x squared plus 1. Well, yeah, plus 1. That sounds good. Alright, I have 1 term times 2 term. My number is sandwiched outside my parentheses, so I know I have to distribute it. So 2x times 3x squared. I know 2 times 3 is 6. What about x times x squared? Well, that's x cubed. Alright, so now let's do 2x times 1. Anything times 1 is just itself, so 2x times 1 is 2x. Now ask yourself, can you add up 6x cubed and 2x? No, because this one has an exponent of 3 and this one doesn't have an exponent, so I'm done. Let's look at another one. 5x times x minus 2. 5x times x. Well, 5 can't be multiplied with anything, so it's 5. X and x make x squared. 5x times negative 2. Well, 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. X can't be multiplied with anybody else, so it's just x. Can I add x squared and x up? No, because this one has an exponent, this one doesn't. I'm done. Try this one. 3y squared times 4y squared plus 2y minus 6. How am I going to solve this problem? I'm going to distribute. So I distribute 3y squared times 3 times 4y to the 4th. So 3 and 4 make 12. Y squared and y squared make y to the 4th. Alright, so now let's distribute 3y squared to 2y. 3 and 2 make 6. Y squared and y make y cubed. 3y squared and negative 6. Well, 3 and negative 6 make negative 18. Can y squared be multiplied with anybody over here? Nope, so y squared. And I'm done. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 problems I want you to practice. So once you write these problems down, go ahead and pause this video and then unpause it so we can go over the answer. So first question we're going to do is negative 7x squared times 3x cubed minus 2x plus 7. And the second problem we're going to do is 2x squared y times 3x squared y squared minus 6xy plus 2. So go ahead and pause this video, and then we're going to go over when we all finish, we'll go ahead and go over the answers together. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute. Alright, so negative 7x cubed times 3x cubed is negative 21x to the 5th. Negative 7x squared minus 2x is plus 14x to the 3rd. Negative 7x squared times 7 is negative 49x squared, and I'm done. How I know I'm done? I can't add x to the 5th, x to the 3rd, and x squared up. Notice also your answer has to be in standard form, biggest degree to smallest degree. So we might want to write that down. Answer must be in standard form. Okay, let's look at the next one. This one is a little different because you have to multiply two variables together. So 2 times 3 is 6. X squared and x squared make x to the 4th. Y and y squared make y to the 3rd. Alright. 2x squared y times my middle term. 2 and negative 6 make negative 12. X squared and x make x cubed. y and y make y squared. And then do the last term. 2x squared y times 2. 2 and 2 make 4. And then I just plop x squared and y. Okay? Now notice with this problem, I can't add x and y together. I can't add any of these together because all of the exponents are different. X has an exponent of 4, y has an exponent of 3. And none of them match anywhere else. Okay? So here's case 1. So now let's talk about case 2. Case number 2 is when I have a polynomial times a polynomial. Okay. Most famous, it's a binomial times a binomial. Binomial is how many terms? 2. So let's look at an example. X plus 3 times x plus 2. Okay. I know these two binomials are being multiplied together because there's a invisible multiplication sign right there. On this previous page, we knew we had to distribute because I had a number sandwiched outside my parentheses to go inside. Over here, I have 2 parentheses sandwiched together. So how do I solve this? I do what's called double distribute. What this means is I take x and I multiply everybody in my second parentheses, and then I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to multiply 3 to everybody in that second parentheses. Notice I'm distributing twice, which is where they get this double distribute. Okay, so let's check this out. If I take x times x, well, what's x times x? Well, that's x squared. How about x times 2? Oh, that's 2x. Now look, 3 times x is 3x. So let me go back and try that again. So now I'm going to look at my second term, and I'm going to distribute him to everybody inside here. So x times 3 is 3x, and x times 2 is 6. Okay? If you look at this right now, is there any multiplication signs left? No, they're all addition. So now you have to ask yourself, are any of your terms the same? Can you add x squared with anybody else? No. So, x squared. Now look, 2x and 3x. Can you add those together? Absolutely, you get 5x. Why is it not 5x squared? Because there's an addition sign between them. You're not multiplying, you're adding. And then plus 6. And I'm done. Let's look at another one. X minus 4 times x plus 3. So I'm going to take x and I'm going to distribute him to everybody in that second parenthesis. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. So I've distributed x to everybody in my second parenthesis. I'm not going to take negative 4 and distribute him to everybody in that second parenthesis. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. So now look, are there any terms that you can clean up? These middle terms right here. 3 and negative 4 make negative 1. So I have x squared minus 1x minus 12. Do I really need this 1 here? No, I can go ahead and erase it. So my answer is x squared minus x minus 12. So now you try this problem. X plus 7 times x plus 2. Go ahead and pause this video and then try this for a few seconds on your own, and then we'll come back together. Alright, so let's check this out. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. So now I got to distribute 7 to everybody under the other parenthesis. 7 times x is 7x, and 7 times 2 is 14. Am I done? Nope. You can still clean up. You clean up these middle guys right here. So I'm left with x squared plus 9x plus 14. Let's look at another one. 7 and 2x minus 1. So let's see if we can do this one. Go ahead and pause it, and then unpause it, and we can go over the answer. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x. So can I put a 1 here? Sure, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to take 7, and I'm going to distribute him to everybody. So 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. So now I can clean up my middle terms right there. So I'm left with 2x squared plus 13x, because negative 1 and 14 make 13, minus 7. Try one more, and I'll try to make it a little more challenging. Actually, let me change that. Excuse me. Let's try again. Let's do 2x minus 4 times 3x plus 5. Go ahead and pause the video. When you finish, unpause, we'll go over it. So, okay, let's double distribute. 2x times 3x, 6x squared. 2x times 5 is 10x. Negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Clean up my middle terms. 6x squared minus 2x minus 20. What about a problem that looked like this? X plus 3 times 2x squared plus 7x minus 8. Is this problem any different? No. All you're doing is still double distributing. How I know I'm double distributing? I have two sets of parentheses. Okay? So I'm going to distribute x to everybody. And then I'm going to distribute 3 to everybody. So x times 2x squared is 2x cubed. X times 7x is 7x squared. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. So now I do the exact same thing with 3. 3 times 2x squared, 6x squared. 3 times 7x, 21x. 3 times negative 8, negative 24. So now because I have plus or minus signs between everything, I'm going to go ahead and draw my slashes and see if there are any terms that I can combine. Look at 2x cubed. Can you combine him with anybody else? Nope. So he gets written down below. How about 7x squared? Well, you can add him with 6x squared. So 7x squared and 6x squared make 13x squared. Why did I not add the exponents? I'm not multiplying. Negative 8x and 21x make 13x. Negative 24, I can't write him with anybody, so he gets written on the end. Keep in mind, your answer must be in standard form. Okay? So I'm going to give you two problems that I want you to practice. I want to know which one of these problems you're distributing and which one of these problems you're double distributing. So let me go ahead and write this down. Pause this video. Let's see if you can figure out what to do, and then when we're all done, we'll get back together and figure out the answers. So, okay, I'm going to double distribute up here. How do I know I'm double distributing? I have two sets of parentheses. So, DD for double distribute. X times 5x squared is 5x cubed. X times negative 6x is negative 6x squared. X times 3 is 3x. So now distribute down here. I get 35x squared. I get negative 42x. And I get positive 21. So now I'm going to draw my slashes so I can see what terms I can combine. 5x cubed I can't combine with, so he just gets written down. Cross them out. Negative 6x squared and 35x squared make 29x squared. 3x and negative 42x make negative 39x. Positive 21, I can't add with anybody, so he just gets written down at the end. This problem down here, I know I'm just distributing because I only have one set of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute this to everybody. So I have negative 8x to the 5th power plus 16x to the 4th power minus 4x squared. I know I'm done because I can't add x to the 5th, x to the 4th, and x to the 2nd. Okay? So if we have time left over, I have one type of challenge question. Given a rectangle whose length equals x plus 4 and width that equals x plus 2, I want you to find the area and perimeter. So go ahead and pause this video and let's see if you can figure out how to do this on your own, and then we'll bring it back together. So, I see the word rectangle, I immediately draw a picture. My length is x plus 4, I'm going to fill that into my picture. X plus 4, x plus 4. My width is x plus 2, so x plus 2, x plus 2. So how do I find the perimeter of something? You add up all the sides. So if I start here, x plus 4 plus x plus 2 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 2. So draw my slashes. Combine like terms. X, and x make 4x. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 12. My perimeter is 4x plus 12. Alright, how do you find the area? Area is base times height. So what's my base? X plus 4 times, what's my height? X plus 2. This looks a lot like, double distribute. So let's double distribute. X times x, x squared. X times 2 is 2x. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 2 is 8. Am I done? No, you can still add those guys up. X squared plus 6x plus 8. And here is my final answer. So if there's time left over after class, we'll go over some more practice problems. And this is the only way you can multiply polynomials in a period.